Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to the predictions and breakdowns. We're finally taking a look at UFC Fight Night, Renato Moicano versus Chris Duncan, which is taking place on April the 4th, 2026, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Apex. We are looking at that smaller octagon, so we'll take that into consideration. We'll start off with the early prelims and end with the main event. We have some absolute wild UFC newcomers that should not be on the card, and we have some people that have not fought in a couple of years. It doesn't look too bad, but we'll get right into it right away with the prelim opener of Dakota Hope versus Kai Kamaka. Jesus Christ, I don't really know. Both of these guys are brand new to the UFC. Tough Enough versus the Fury FC. Dakota Hope was supposed to fight for the title in Fury in a couple of months. Ends up taking a turn, and now he's fighting inside the UFC against another newcomer in Kai Kamaka. I'm going to go with Kai Kamaka to win this fight, probably on the feet. Dakota Hope looks like he's a little bit just one-dimensional, throwing just singular strikes and not really throwing large combinations when he needs to. He has okay wrestling as well, but he kind of seems to just be lackluster in later rounds of the fight. He seems like round one's his big potential, and then round 2 and 3 starts to slowly fall off. And Kai Kamaka doesn't look exactly like that. He looks a little bit better, throws combinations with his strikes, throws a jab and throw a leg kick behind it instead of just throwing a lead hook and then waiting for his opponent to walk forward. And Kai Kamaka actually showed up actually in this last fight against Michael Lima, and Dakota Hope having some lackluster decisions recently, having a good fight against Mauricio Gomez, but Gomez really shouldn't even be in the octagon whatsoever. That poor kid just got absolutely mauled, and it didn't even look like he was going to be able to fight back. Kai Kamaka has been fighting guys who look kind of half decent to how he is and look like he's fighting in a step up. So I'm going to go with Kai Kamaka to win this fight on the feet. I think he's just going to beat him up, probably end up with a round 2 or 3 TKO. And it should be light work. Next on the prelims, Lando Venata versus Darius Flowers. Now, Lando has not fought in 3 years. This guy has not fought since losing to Daniel Zellhuber on a decision scorecard. And I don't even know what year he fought. 2023, who is this? Holloway versus Allen. This is the same fight card where Denise Gomes got a knockout. Yeah. Bruno Brazil getting chinned. I'm going to go with Darius Flowers. I know Darius Flowers probably looks half like shit. I'm just going to say Lando doesn't look good at all. This guy looks really bad in the stand-up. He looks like the grappling is the only thing that he has going for him. And that is where Darius Flowers falls a little bit short in the grappling. But I think he's going to be able to keep it on the feet. I think he's going to be able to knock out Lando. I think this is just one of those weird fights where I would just take this fight not to go distance. I think both of these guys are absolutely dog-ass. Both of them should not be in the UFC anymore. Darius Flowers should have been cut from his last fight against Evan Elder. And Lando shouldn't even be getting another opportunity after having 3 years off and not being able to do anything with it. You're going back to Darius Flowers too after 3 years, dude. I don't even know what's going on. I'm just going to go with Darius Flowers as an underdog. I think the value's a little bit too much, and he just fought more recently. I don't know. It's at the Apex, whatever. Next on the prelims, Thomas Peterson versus Guilherme Guilherme. Like, what kind of name? Oh my god, bro. I don't understand. I'm just going to go with Kong Pat. Like, I'm just going to say Kong Pat because this is just, these names just mess with my head too much. I'm going with Thomas Peterson to get it done. The train is going to roll Pat. Pat is an absolute fucking can. He fought Alan Fry Jr. inside the UFC. Took it to a decision when that fight should have definitely ended inside the first round. And Thomas is a guy who cleans up cans. He's a guy who's kind of a little bit of a low-level heavyweight gatekeeper, and he's fighting Kong Pat, who has, he's lacking 10 pounds of weight already. That was just from his last fight where he weighed in. Thomas is going to be able to roll over him. I think this is going to be a super, super easy fight for him. I think this is going to be one of those fights where he's just more calm and collected than Kong Pat, and I think Thomas Peterson is just going to beat the shit out of him after Pat tries to use his range in advantage. I mean, you could see Thomas getting tagged up with the range. He doesn't look that good against Shamil Gaziev where he gets knocked out. He didn't look that good against Vitor Petrino, but Guilherme is just so fucking bad. Like, he's just so bad. He's fought just the bummest of the bums. He goes to a lackluster decision against Alan Fry, and then he's getting Thomas Peterson, who's already been in the UFC for enough fights for me to count on my hand. That's enough reasons for me to count why I'm going to pick him over Kong Pat. Let's just go with Thomas Peterson on the even money line to get it done. It should be easy. Shouldn't be that much of a stressor. It should just be, as long as we're staying on the feet, I think we're fine. Next on the prelims, you have Asmat Bakoya versus Trejan Gore. Now, this is a little bit of a toughie. I'm going to probably go over 1.5 rounds if you're betting it. And if you're picking who's going to win, I'm going to go with Asmat Bakoya. I think Trejan Gore has a good chance of getting this done, and I think that just becomes a part of his pure grit. I think this kid's got a lot of fucking balls running forward the way he does. He did miss weight by a lot last time, and I think it was just because he was trying to keep himself at a weight advantage. I think he just wanted to bully the shit out of Rodolfo Vieira. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way he planned it. And Azamat Bakoyev, last time around getting knocked out by Yusri Belgawi, I think he's just going to kind of come in a little bit more aggressive, trying to show everyone that he's still that knockout crazy kid that everybody loves. And Trijan Gore is going to be on the lackluster part of a nasty knockout where he just gets sat down and put out of the UFC 5-5. I mean, the fact that he's even inside the UFC at 5-4 is absolutely ridiculous. I understand he beat Gilbert Urbina inside the Ultimate Fighter, but losing to Brian Battle and then losing by knockout to Cody Brennan should have been the first red flag on the roster, because I don't know how the fuck Trijan Gore should even be inside the UFC after that. Losing to him, and then, oh wow, you got Josh Fremd and Antonio Tricoli, and then gets chinned once, has a lackluster decision, then he gets Azamat Bakoyev. This poor kid's just on a bad roll. I think the dice is just rolling not in his favor. I'm going to go with Bakoyev to get it done. Probably by knockout. But I can see Trijan Gore, again, you saw Azamat Bakoyev kind of fall apart inside the second and third round with Belgari. Again, that's probably because he was getting beat up so fucking bad that he couldn't even keep up. But again, there is a chance. I'm just going with Azamat Bakoyev to get it done by knockout. I think Trijan Gore is just... His time's come. His time's come to go away. I don't think it's going to get any better for him inside the UFC, realistically. Next, Deone Barboza versus Melissa Gatto. I'm going to go with Melissa Gatto as an underdog. This is an absolute crazy spot to have. She has 3 inches of reach advantage. She is lacking an inch in height. But we are going down to flyweight for Melissa Gatto. She's going to have a large power advantage here. Deone Barboza kind of focuses on pure submission. She doesn't have a lot of good stand-up. Melissa Gatto, beautiful stand-up. She's got beautiful combinations, throws nice shots, and just was able to knock out Tamaris Vidal with a titty punch. Fantastic. That's amazing. Deone Barboza is in a bit of shit here. And the reason why is because she relies heavily on that grappling. Melissa Gatto is a purple belt under Mario, I don't remember his name. But Melissa Gatto is actually really good at taking girls down. She does have a bit of a problem with being too loose on the back. She does fall off the top quite often. Ends up in giving girls full guard for some reason. I don't really know why. She goes from back take to full guard, which is just fucking crazy. But Melissa Gatto should be able to use her jiu-jitsu skills to be able to stay on the feet. I think her takedown defense is pretty much on par with Deone Barboza, and she's going to be able to stay on the feet, keep it out of range, and be able to beat up Deone Barboza when she just keeps trying to run in for takedowns. I think as this fight goes longer, it's just even more advantageous for Melissa Gatto as Deone Barboza starts to gas and starts to get a little bit uncomfortable with the positions and how she's not being able to get these takedowns. I think Melissa Gatto is just going to start beating the fuck out of her. She's going to start pouring it on, putting the pressure on, and she's going to take home a win to Brazil on Saturday night. I think Deone Barboza is bad. I think the Miranda Maverick loss, the Karine Silva loss, you're just getting a lot of red flags with the fact that her grappling is all the things that she relies on, and when she doesn't have it, she immediately falters back to looking like shit. And I think she's just a bit of a can. Melissa Gatto's a little bit better, and I think she's going to be able to put it on her just a little bit more than Deone Barboza. Now, she also beat Cara Rosa, which is a fucking crazy win to have on your record, and Cara Rosa is nasty in the jiu-jitsu as well. Deone Barboza, MMA math, I'm just going to say Gatto beats the shit out of her. Next on the prelims, you have Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nicole. I do not want to pick Alessandro Costa, but I cannot pick Stuart Nicole, a guy who lost to Lucas Holsha. I can't. Lucas Holsha is so fucking shit. Stuart Nicole lost a full decision to him, got beat up really bad on the feet, and Alessandro Costa should be an easy fight to come back to. Alessandro Costa hasn't really had any good wins inside of the UFC. Jimmy Flick, Kevin Borjas, kind of lackluster wins, but I think he's going to be able to take down Stuart Nicole. I think he's going to be able to grab the back, and I think he's going to end it with TKO, either on the ground or on the feet. And I think Stuart Nicole's just should not be inside the UFC, getting choked out by Jesus Aguilar and then getting Lucas Holsha beating you up really fucking bad. It's just such a bad look that I can't even understand why they still have this guy. I don't get it. Give me Alessandro Costa. No, gets it done on the feet. Next on the prelims, I cannot. I was literally stuttering because I cannot believe this is an actual fight. I don't know if I skipped this or if I just didn't read this when I was looking at this. This is kind of ridiculous. This is the highlighted prelim of the evening. They're looking for a finish on this fight. That's fucking wild. Haley Cohen versus Alice Pereira. Now, Alice Pereira looks like shit against Rendon, but then she gets Haley Cohen. And Haley Cohen hasn't had a win since Claudia Lettet in fucking 2022. Oh my god. Yeah, we're going with Alice Pereira. I think Alice Pereira is just going to be able to beat her up on the feet. I think Haley Cohen... Oh my gosh, she shouldn't even be inside. Dude, neither of these girls should be inside the UFC. They're both cans. Alice Pereira, the fact that she's even inside the UFC and she gets a split decision over Rendon, which is clearly a win for Rendon, by the way. Clear. Go watch that fight back. Clear. Clear, not even fucking close. Alice Pereira gets Haley Cohen. Oh my god, this is... I'm not even going to... Okay, we're just going to pick Alice Pereira. That's all I got to talk about. That's it. Next... I don't really give a shit. Next, to start off the main card of the evening, you have Abdul Rahman Yakyayev. Jesus Christ. Abdul Rahman Yakyayev against Brandon Hebera. We're going to go with Yakyayev to win by knockout. I think Brandon Hebera is a very good guy to pick in these types of situations where he gets a UFC newcomer and they're just kind of getting a large price tag, and you kind of pick Brandon Hebera because, you know, he's gotten it done before. This is one of those spots where, yeah, you can't pick that anymore. Abdul Rahman Yakyayev looked so devastating inside the Contender Series. I don't know what the fuck we're going to do with this guy. He looks nasty. He's got round one potential, and he's kind of just a pure finisher. Bredesen Zambaro just really does not stand no chance with this guy. It's going to be really quick. It should be within the first 2 minutes, and Bredesen Hebera will probably be out on his back. I think Yakyayev, he's going to clip the chin Hebera and just put him out. Hebero's not super terrible. He'd probably do really well in the LFA or something. He'd probably be champion. But inside the UFC at light heavyweight, you're getting just guys who are just absolute fucking demons at this point. And there is no spot I see for Hebera anymore. I think he gets knocked out and cleaned by Rahman Yakyayev. Fantastic spot for him to be, though. On the start of the main card, I know you're getting knocked out, but at least you're getting a little bit more money than if you were just going to get chinned like on a numbered prelim. Next on the main card, Rafael Estevam versus E-Wing, excuse me. We're going to go with Rafael Estevam, just UFC vet, more experience, looks better, more fluid. Ethan E-Wing literally only beat Malcolm Wellmaker. Malcolm Wellmaker had a fucking hook that he was just trying to land that whole fight. He was just trying to find the one-punch knockout. And just because you beat Malcolm Wellmaker does not mean that you should be in even money. By the way, Rafael Estevam is an underdog right now. Tell me how that makes sense to you. Rafael Estevam as an underdog, a 14-0 undefeated pro who's been in the UFC since 2022, is going to be an underdog against Ethan Ewing. He's only beaten one fucking guy from the UFC who's not even really UFC. He's just a fucking newcomer who walked in, got two chinnies, and then says, I'm the beast. Listen, Rafael Estevam is different. This kid's good at flyweight. This is at bantamweight, which is a little bit fucking weird. But still, I don't think it matters. I think Rafael Estevam is in the perfect spot of his career. I think it doesn't matter about the weight differential. It doesn't matter. He's moving up 10 pounds. He's had the time to put it on. He's got 7 months. He's moving. He's already gained fucking... He missed weight by 5 pounds anyway. He's already at 135. We're gonna go with Rafael Estevam. It's not even close. Fuck E-Wing. I can't even believe that this is an even money, and I can't even believe that they have Rafael Estevam as an underdog on live books. Get the fuck out of here. Next on the main card, Robert Rushala versus Jose Delano. Delano is pure. He's UFC ready. Realistically, I don't know if you watched his Contender Series bout. He's UFC ready. He beat the fuck out of Exposito or whatever. Yeah, that's his name, Exposito. He beat the shit out of that kid. He had that kid barely alive. He was barely even walking. He was looking into the fray, just trying to see the light at the end of the tunnel. There was nothing there. Delano kept beating him up, and he was just pissing blood out of his eyes and never stopped the fight. It was fantastic. Robert Rushala should get knocked out here. William Gomis beat him up on the feet. Jose Delano is going to beat the shit out of Robert Rushala. It's just going to happen. I understand KSW champion. He should not be rated as low as an underdog as he is. I get that. I agree with that, actually. I really do. I do not think Jose Delano as a UFC newcomer should be at minus 415 right now. But I think the books has a lot of things to do with the fact that he looked so goddamn good in his Contender Series debut that there's just not really anything that you can do. You have to go with the fact that this kid looks so goddamn good. He looks UFC ready, and he only had one fight in the Contender Series, and he's just had such an immense amount of experience. He's beaten really good guys in the LFA. Like, he's just so good. Give me Jose Delano all fucking day. He should be able to beat up Robert Rushala on the feet and should be able to stop him, if not get close. Next on the main card, Tommy McMillan versus Manolo Zacchini. Tommy McMillan doesn't give up. This kid lost the first round and a half against David Milligan and just didn't give up. He kept moving forward out of Sean O'Malley's camp. I don't know if he's friends with Sean O'Malley, but he looks like fucking Sean O'Malley. I tell you what. He's not out of Sean O'Malley's camp. I'm not. Oh, yes, he is. Huh. I was right. That's fucking crazy. I'm never right. Manolo Zacchini, kind of just a pure submission guy, pure knockout guy, coming out of Italy and kind of just the regional scene over there. He's just kind of sopping guys that he was just a show fighter, realistically. Manolo does not really need to be inside the UFC. He's probably going to get knocked out by Tommy McMillan. A lot of people are picking the submission side of McMillan because of the devastating jiu-jitsu that he has, but Manolo just doesn't really deserve to be on the feet with anybody inside the UFC. The guy looks lackluster. He looks like he just kind of throws wild, just hopes to fucking Christ that he doesn't get chinned, and McMillan's probably going to drag him to the floor and then beat the shit out of him. I think it's going to be a TKO victory. I think Manolo is going to be able to stop the submission threats, and I think McMillan is just going to be a little bit frustrated and just start dropping bombs and give Zacchini a nice TKO victory inside the second round. I think Tommy's bad, but it is what it is. At least he got inside the UFC, and at least he gets to fight a guy and get at least a free win on his record to start off his career. Now, next, the co-main event of the evening, Jandiroba. A lot of people go Jandiroba. Jesus Christ. Verna versus Tabitha Ricci. Now, we're going to go with Verna Jandiroba. I just did it right there. Jandiroba. I think Verna's just a little bit better in some spots than Tabitha Ricci. I think Verna's also really devastating with her grappling. I think her mix-up capability is just so good that it gives a lot of girls a lot of stress. And I think Tabitha Ricci, again, lost to Yan Jiaonan, a girl who mixes it up really well. Was able to beat up Amanda Hebas and knock her out. But I don't really classify that as a crazy win because Hebas is a girl who just wants to stand and bang. She wants to hit those spinning wheel kicks. She wants to hit something crazy. Verna Jandiroba does not give a shit. She's going to walk forward. She's going to maul. And she's going to grab Tabitha Ricci and drag her to the ground. I don't care if Ricci has black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't give a fuck what she has. The clinch work from Jandiroba is going to be perfect. She's going to stop all the takedowns from Tabitha Ricci. And after having a tough loss against Mackenzie Dern, it's going to be the perfect spot for Tabitha Ricci just to get mauled by Jandiroba, who's pissed off, wants a win back, and wants to get her hands moving. Verna's really good on the feet too. Really good hands, and I think she's going to light Tabitha Ricci up. Give me Verna Jandiroba all day on the feet. 3 inches of reach, 3 inches of height, and she's just going to maul her. It shouldn't even be close. It should be easy win for Verna, especially in the Apex. Smaller octagon, more ways to tag Ricci against the cage because there's just not a lot of room to run around anymore. Next. Now, this is a real one that we don't fucking know. This is a tough one, and I'm going to tell you what, I get my main events wrong all the time, but it's time for the main event of the evening. Renato Moicano versus Chris "The Problem" Duncan. We're probably going to go with, oh my god, probably going with Renato Moicano. The only reason why we're going with Renato Moicano is because of the fact that Renato Moicano's got ridiculous jiu-jitsu, and the only thing Chris Duncan has problems with is the grappling. This guy's really good on the feet. He's got a chin made from Christ. He's gotten gifted that shit from fucking 15 years of promise. And now he's been given it to deal with lots of people inside the lightweight division. Now, Renato Moicano, though, nasty grappling, really aggressive, really just round one or bust. Just wants to get you down, wants to maul you, wants to get you tired, and wants you thinking. He wants the money, man, and he wants it now. I'm going to go with Renato Moicano. I think he's just at the point in his career where he's got only a couple fights left, and he knows it. I think he wants to get that win, and I think he wants to run for the lightweight title. He's fought for the belt already. He got choked out. I mean, it was a short notice fight, but this is a point in his career where he can actually make a break for it. This is a spot, I know, but the Benoit Saint Denis fight, literally on his way to losing that fight, even though Benoit couldn't even see out of one eye. But, again, Chris Duncan, first round's a little bit iffy with him. He usually gets tagged by something. He usually gets in a bad spot, at least at some point. There's not really a point in a Chris Duncan fight where he's 100% perfect and he doesn't get hurt. I'm going to go with that factor. Go with Renato Moicano as an underdog. I think the submission side's the way to go. I think Chris Duncan showed it with Manuel Torres. If someone just grabs him on the back, there's not a whole lot you can do, and he's just going to choke you out right away. So I'm going to go with the fact that Chris Duncan's had submission problems in the past. He's had grappling problems in the past, and he's been chinned. I say chinned as in like he's been dropped really easily by a couple of guys. He's been dropped a couple of times. He just has such good recovery that the kid is fine. But Renato Moicano is just so quick at grabbing stuff on the ground. Even a Kimura, I'm going to go with Renato Moicano to get it done as the main event underdog. That's all I got for you guys this week. I know I picked a lot of underdogs, but the value is just too real. A lot of people who are newcomers inside the UFC do not belong there at all. Melissa Gatto as an underdog is ridiculous. Thomas Peterson as an underdog is ridiculous. Brendan Hibero, he might be able to crack Yakayev. We'll see. Rafael Estevam as an underdog is ridiculous. Just make sure you pick your parlays proper. Make sure you pick your picks properly. And make sure that you're going to get that money on Saturday night. That's all I got for you guys today. I will make sure to get a recap and breakdown for last week's UFC Fight Night. Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer as well. And I will make sure to have my best bets available for you either Wednesday or Thursday this week. Get you guys a little bit early. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. I'll try and get a compilation out this week as well. I got a little bit of free time. You know what it is. Let's go, boys. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.